Hello, I'm James Preston for Kalkine Media, and welcome to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks. In this edition, I'll be shining a light on mineral exploration company Belararox Limited, and the best way to do that is to sit down with Managing Director Arvind Misra. Arvind, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you, James, for having us. Really grateful for the opportunity.
Well, Arvind, it's great to have you here. First and foremost, can you tell us exactly what it is that Belararox focuses on and what the scope of your operations is?
Look, Belararox is a mineral explorer. We have two projects, one on the eastern side in New South Wales, which is our main project, and we have a gold project in Western Australia near Kulgari. The Belararox project, which is our main project, is a very advanced polymetallic deposit in the Lachlan Fold Belt, New South Wales, which is very well known for hosting significant similar style VMS deposits in that region. It's called a elephant country because when you find a deposit, it's really big deposits. And this project particularly has been very fortunate for us in the sense that has been drilled in the past. It has 31 holes, and also it surrounds two old mines which were mined pre-World War time. So they were very high grade copper and gold mines. Like copper mine was about 3 to 5%, and gold was 2 to 4.5 grams gold, 2 to 3 ounces of silver mined in the past. It was a shallow mining in those days, only up to 60 meters depth, but it just proves that there was a mine and mineralization there. And then it was been owned by several players since then, by companies like Rio Tinto's and Cominco, and more recently it was owned by a company called Iron Bar. So including some of the holes that Iron Bar drilled, they did the estimate on this. There has been a resource estimated on this one, which only complies to the 2004 JORC code. So which we are not allowed to publish in prospectus because it has to be at least 2012 standard. So we are now what we're doing now is working towards publishing the resource by middle of the year. So we'll have a Megan 2012 JORC resource by middle of the year. And that sort of puts us into a bit more advanced exploration play, you can say, where we are very definite about publishing a resource. So that's the project that we have. On the western side, it's a gold project. It is a neurology, and the structure that we have is really excellent. Nearby project owned by another company, Bulling project. It is called 3 million ounces already there. And we are north of that. And we believe that the same structure that follows the current 3 million ounce of resources with other company will be duplicating in our area also. We'll be doing some work on that.
Absolutely excellent what you're getting up to. And obviously, there's a wealth of experience from yourself around about 30 years too. So I think that your investors so far would definitely be thinking they are in safe hands, that's for sure. And for that matter as well, congratulations are in order. You're approaching 1 month since you've been listed on the ASX. Can you talk us through that process and how much the IPO actually raised?
We raised $5 million in the IPO, and it's been a good process. We went through a bit of a holiday period, but we were successful. We were very successful in raising that $5 million. And in the last 1 month of the program, which we announced on the very first day of listing, that we will be immediately commencing exploration program, which we have done. Gravity survey is underway. Inverse polarization work started this week. And we will be commencing our drilling next month. So we're following with what we promised to the market very quickly, and we're advancing the program very fast.
Absolutely. I mean, well, you mentioned there it is building quite quickly indeed. And since the listing itself, we have seen your stock gain quite a fair bit of momentum. First day up around 5%, continuing to see steady growth. What do you put this down to?
Oh, look, it's messaging that we continuously were getting to the market, where we attractively priced this stock. It's a very low EV. We had only 4 million EV to start with at the IPO. And when we compared ourselves with other companies which were already listed, had the similar kind of projects, they were trading 4 to 5 times multiple. And it's an advanced exploration play, as I said, where we're very confident, and we will have a resource within 6 months. I think market realizes that what we were saying is true, and if we are given the same rating as other companies for similar resources, will be capped around 4 to 5 times at the IPO market level. So we're not there yet. We're only about 50 cents. So I'd like to see my share price would be even better as we near towards publishing the resource in July.
Look, just about the only way is up. As you mentioned, 50 cents, there'd be incredible to see if you could crack that dollar mark by the end of the year. That's for sure. So fingers crossed there. I know you've already mentioned it a little bit so far with the Belara project, but let's really hammer down on it now. What can you tell our viewers and potential investors about it? Do you see a huge future for the project itself?
Oh, definitely. Look, if viewers remember the presentation we made, there's an aeromagnetic image done by the previous owners. We have done a bit of petrophysics work during the prospectus period. And what it reveals is that the rock actually correlates very well with the gravity and the inverse polarization, the ground magnetics. And it will tell us where we should be drilling and where the target should be. Beyond that, as I said, there were 31 holes drilled in the past, right? And that has given us, that gave previous owners a resource estimate. So what we're doing is that some of those holes which we can't use as per the 2014 code, we will be re-drilling some of them. And then also we'll be doing the infill drilling, which there are areas that in the resource model that is requires infill drilling. So we think that just around the Belara mine itself, we will be at least confirming the resource and maybe increasing it. Another important factor to remember here is that when the resource was done, back about 2014-15 that was done, zinc prices were hovering around 2,000 US. Today, zinc price is sitting around 3,600 US. So that means we can lower the cutoff. And once you lower the cutoff, and with the infill drilling we are doing, we can easily conceptualize that the resource publication that will come out in July would be a lot more than it was published before. So it's really puts that's the excitement just around the old resource that was published. Now, if you look at the inverse magnetic long section that we have published before, so the distance between Native V and the Belara mine, the two areas, is about 1.5 kilometers. The resource model is only around 0.5 kilometers, but the modeling shows, the geophysics modeling shows that it's continuous all the way, but it's never been drill tested. And if you go look at beyond that, Native mine, 3.5 kilometers further south, magnetics is showing there are high resolution targets that we can go and test them. So it just gets very exciting, this resource around Belara, and joining it with Native B, and then further 3.5 kilometers. And then I've not even talked about depth yet. It goes deeper, which we don't know how deep it goes, and it plunges to the south. And if you go beyond that, it also is that these deposits, they happen in cluster. Once you find one, you tend to find a few more of them. And we have a very interesting soil anomaly west of Belara that we have picked up in our gravity that we will talk about once we publish the fully analyzed data about in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully. So there are those also. And if you go beyond that, further on the eastern side of our project, there is some orogenic gold mineralization that has been found in the past, but there's been no work done. I can go on about this. I'm so excited. Just eastern side of our Belara mine, there is a porphyry signature. And if you look at the Boda mine, which is owned by Kalkine is, by the way, about $5 million market cap company. They discovered this porphyry Boda deposit, which is about 10, 12 kilometers from our boundary. And we have got similar signature. So you're looking at VMS. I'm just trying to sum it up. So looking at Belara and around Belara, then joining with Native B, 3.5 kilometers further, and depth, and then porphyry signature, potential different style mineralization. It's very exciting what we have got in front of us. So,
I think that's the key word, exciting, absolutely. Let's turn our attention to the Kulgari project as well. What's the key focus of this one, and how does it tie into the company's strategic plan?
Look, as I said in my introduction, in neurology and the structure running from our leases, similar kind of thing gives us the confidence that we will have similar kind of mineralization there. And Greg, our chief technical consultant, who's done the previous 3 million ounces proven with the previous owner he was working for, he believes the similar trend will continue. There's a couple of seismic lines that will run there. It shows that mafic and ultramafic contact, similar kind of contact in our area. There has been some shallow drilling done in the past, some soil sampling done in the past that indicate there is. So we have drill-ready targets there. We will be drilling that in the second half of the year. And we probably, hopefully, intersect some good gold mineralization there. That area definitely is known for good mineralization. Kulgari, obviously, there has been gold rushes in the past, but there's still some more to be found.
And I suppose it's a very interesting time as well for gold mining. You look at the crisis over with Russia and Ukraine, and we've seen recently gold prices spike well up above 1900 US. So it is definitely a time that would be quite interesting to see if you could get some large extracts from that project. Do you really think you could capitalize on that, given you are, I suppose, amongst other mining players, relatively new into the space?
Oh, definitely we are keen to pursue the project and we will focus on it. But our flagship project remains the Belara. Because we already have a resource on that 2004, we can quite quickly produce a mineral resource, and that deposit with the zinc and copper, it's all battery metal and all, which is very much what is needed in society right now.
Yeah.
With all these new electric vehicles coming in and new energy and new technology coming in. So our primary target would be that, and definitely we will be drilling on the gold project also. And if we find exciting, we'll continue to do that. So it's like choosing between the two best ones, which one to choose. So at the moment we are prioritizing Belara. We got like immediate possibility or definitely the confidence that we have that we will publish a resource, maiden resource by July.
Now, Arvind, obviously you've got quite a fair deal of experience when it comes to the mining industry. How do you think the sector has transformed over the past few years, and what technology have you adapted with Belararox to move ahead with the times as things do begin to advance even more?
Look, generally the industry, I'll just make some general observations first and then come specifically to my company, Belararox. In general, what's happening in industry is being very much like evolving every day with this technology. And if you look at the operational level, everybody wants to go manless. If you look at the bigger iron ore players and other bigger open pit mines, the haulage is pretty much manless everywhere in the bigger long-term mines. Now, drilling, people are trying to make it manless. Some of them have tried, and eventually it will happen. So it's all becoming like no man on the job or no man on the machine kind of thing. If you remove the man from the machine, it becomes safer, more efficient, and all of that. So industry generally moving from operating point of view towards in that direction. In terms of using the big data, artificial intelligence, self-learning algorithms, that's really helping a lot of companies, and we are no exception to that. Our strategic partner is a company called Kenex, which is owned by my co-director, Michelle Stokes. She's a geologist by trade, 35 years experience, and her husband, Greg Partington, 40 years of experience. They run this company, Kenex. They are actually managing our exploration program right now, and the associated company called Mondo Rocks is my largest shareholder also. They found the project, they manage the project. So Kenex uses this artificial intelligence and self-learning algorithm, collects all the data, the big data, and then use it for predicting the prospectivity of the ground. So we're using those technologies, which Kenex is using very effectively in our business.
So what else can we expect to see from your company for the rest of 2022?
Oh, look, we have laid out a very good structured announcements program. So like this month, we're doing gravity and IP survey, which is well underway. So we'll be announcing those results. Next month, we'll be commencing drilling, which we will announce market exact date when we start that. Month after that, as we drill, we get the assay results and we do the XRF. We'll be announcing those, and by May we'll complete the drilling program. July we are hoping to be able to announce a resource by then, and then we'll continue drilling more because by the work that we're doing between now and July, there's a lot of surface work, geophysics work we're doing that will give us a lot of other targets that we will be targeting beyond the first initial part of drilling that we are doing. And the same thing for the gold project, we will be doing some work there, and like we're doing right now, do the 3D that modeling. And beyond that, we'll start drilling that in the second half of the year. So in the 2022, in summary, you should definitely expect a very good resource coming out of Belara in July. And also by then, we should be telling the market as to what is the next big thing coming up in Belara itself, which I believe would be much bigger. By that time, we will be able to show how big that would be. So 2020 will be very exciting from that point of view. It will give us a base, and then also how to build from there on.
Certainly sounds like a very busy year ahead for you, Arvind. It's been great to chat. Just before I let you go, any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewers and potential investors?
Oh, look, I will say to all the viewers that this stock is very attractively priced right from the beginning. We kept the shareholder register very tight, and the top 20 shareholders at the IPO owned about 67%. I think they now own more than 70%. So some of the top 20 they're buying, looks like. And share price has done very well on the basis, in my view, that what the Belara can deliver by July. And I believe what market seems to know will deliver, we will definitely beat the expectation, and we will be able to announce a lot more targets after that. So that's the main takeaway from me for now. I believe in the project. I have got a great team. I didn't talk about my team. My chairman is Neil Warburton, a legendary figure in the mining industry. He has been there for 40 years and chairman of many listed companies. And I've got Mr. Stokes, which I briefly talked about. He's a geologist, 35 years. He has taken many grassroots exploration programs, developing the mines and listing them on stock exchange multiple times. And Steve Lowe is the director on the board, is accountant by trade. And he worked for Mark Creasy Group for well over 10 years as his general manager, and ex-chairman of ASX 2000 company of Sirius and things like that. So we've got a very strong board, good management team, great project that will deliver the resource, very attractively priced. I think we are in for good trade. My investors are in for good trade.
Arvind, it's been a very promising start so far for your company, and fingers crossed that we continue to see more and more growth as this year unfolds and then into the future. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Thank you, and once again, grateful for the opportunity to be able to talk to your viewers.
Well, that's Arvind Misra, the Managing Director of Belararox Limited. And if you missed any part of that chat, you can catch the full interview on our YouTube channel, Kalkine Media, so make sure that you subscribe. I'm James Preston, reminding you to stay apprised and invest wise with Kalkine.